Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. When a nation loses its soul, it loses its country and everything else. And I think this is the path the United States of America is dragged upon or towards. It's not going by itself. This is not something that occurs just because it's a natural cause, just a natural, expectation or of natural development. No, we have among us some people, some groups, some individuals who work towards this. Why? Because they don't like the way it is. They never liked the way this country was founded and it was ran. With all its sins, they tried to fix it, but now it seems like it's not enough. They try to definitely destroy it. Now, why did I say that? I said that because in this article that I'm going to feature here, we have Mexico, and Mexico has something to say about the United States' immigration law. So it's like, for instance, you are very upset and you have something to say about your neighbor's, I don't know, how he wants to build a fence between you and him, or however you're going to treat your children trespassing on his property, and you have a problem with that because your children who trespass on his property can do whatever they want over there and you should not do anything about it. So let me show you, and I will have a question after I read you this title. I will have a question for you. Reuters: Mexico to challenge Texas's new, quote-unquote, inhumane migration law. President says, now I like Mr. Obrador for certain reasons, right? But I think here it's not about Obrador. It's about Mexico. Now, my question. Let's say right now we would be in 1870, 1850, 18 something, 1910, 1915, 1940, 1945, 1950, something like that. And Mexico president would challenge Texas's new inhumane migration law. President says, what do you think United States would have done then? Remember, still having the soul intact. Probably would say, what the fuck are you talking about? Shut the fuck up. But they don't do that. What do you think they will do? So why is that? Remember, the president of another country talks about the law in this country. It's inhumane and we're gonna do something about it. Remember what would have happened from 1950 down if the Mexican president would have said it. I'm not picking on Mexican president, I'm picking on any country on this planet that would dare to talk like that to the United States of America. They would get smacked instantly. Maybe not the Soviet Union, but the rest, yeah, immediately. They will be put in their place. First, in their place. And then the first thing would be that country would not dare to have their president talk like that. They would not dare. But now they do. What changed? Definitely not, in this case, Mexico's prowess. No. But something happened here. I wonder why. Well, you have a semi-conscious individual as the president-elect of this country. You have a woman who has nothing right here but sperm. And you have weasels all across the board, starting with Karine Jean-Pierre, the French White House spokesperson. You have Kirby, a liar, pants on fire. You have what? Jake Sullivan, an average guy. You like Blinken, a Zelensky Stein. You got Austin, holy moly macaroni. You had former Mark Milley. Now you have Mr. Brown. All these are all pieces of average. And I'm very generous when I say average. Okay, I think they're way below it. And they're in charge of us. Do you think any of this, and Obrador, has balls? That's not his fault. There's nothing wrong with Mexico saying what they say or what they do, or with Obrador saying that. My point is, more than 70 years ago, down, they would not have dared to say that. Maybe, but not like that. What changed? I'm glad Mexico has balls. I'm glad Canada. I think Canada is the same boat as these guys are right here. So let me read further on this article. Mexico City. Mexican President Andres Manuel López Obrador on Tuesday said his government was preparing to challenge a new Texas law allowing state law enforcement to arrest suspected migrants, which he called inhumane. Is this your country? Beat it. Get the fuck out. What are you talking about? Obrador. You can have an opinion, but are you going to challenge it how, I wonder? On Monday, Texas Governor Greg Abbott signed a law giving local officers powers long delegated to the U.S. government. Good for them. That's an internal affair. It's not for Obrador to decide or to have an opinion, but he has one. Loud. He's challenging the United States of America, Texas. He wants Texas back now. You remember how Texas was taken by these guys from, a little splendid, that was the Spanish War, little splendid war. Migrants. What do you mean migrants? So a person who comes on your land is called a migrant nowadays? All right, is a trespasser. That's how it's called. All right, because you're going to call a migrant a guy who comes with papers, and you're going to call a migrant a guy who comes without papers. They're not the same. One is obeying the law. The other one is breaking the law. So yeah, they're migrants, but don't you think that another word needs to be inserted to really know what we're talking about here? Migrants who enter the United States illegally can already be charged with illegal entry and re-entry under federal laws. One thing is charged and let go inside the United States of America. That's not how you do it. I charge you and I kick you out. That's how I do it. But the government of the border state has criticized what he calls U.S. President Joe Biden's failure to enforce them. Correct. Abbott has launched a crackdown on illegal immigration in recent years under the name of Operation Lone Star, rolling out the National Guard and concertina wire along the border and installing a floating barrier in a stretch of the Rio Grande. That was not enough. It was just a show for the camera, for the voters. That's what it was. Under my leadership, there will be no immigration, illegal immigration. There will be no illegal immigration. Only the guys who are really sick will dare to try to cross the border. Only those guys, because they know better. Why? Because the law will be enforced fully. Mexico's president, a leftist, doesn't really matter if it's leftist or rightist, they wouldn't have dared. That's my point. Why? Not because of them. It's good for them. But it's bad for these guys. Understand? Often criticizes Republican Abbott as well as the Florida government. Doesn't matter. And I'm quoting, the foreign ministry is already working on the process to challenge this law. López Obrador says, what? The foreign ministry is already working on the process to challenge this law. López Obrador says, Abbott, and I'm quoting, wants to win popularity with these measures. But he's not going to win anything, because he's lose favor, because in Texas there are so many Mexicans and migrants. Oh, more? You're going to lose power? Is that what it is? It's exactly what it is. So he just says this. So he's not going to win it because he already got the people, our people in there. That's what he says. And those guys were not like. So is he saying that the Mexicans, according to, let me show you. So we work on the text. So are you saying, Obrador, that the Americans who come from Mexico and who are law-abiding citizens in America will like to see some people crossing illegally and trespassing in their country, which is the United States of America, unless it is their country and they don't identify with something else? No, they will not. They shouldn't possibly or should not possibly think like that, saying, you know what? Because they're Romanians, let them violate the law. Well, I'm as a Romanian, if I see a Romanian breaking the law, what am I supposed to say? You broke the law. This is the punishment, and you should get it. And Obrador tells us that no. When I see that the government that I am a citizen of and I have an allegiance for this country, right? As a Mexican, don't you? If you are from a Mexican origin, Romanian origin, Honduran origin, whatever origin, and you are in the United States of America, and you have a U.S. citizenship, that is your allegiance. Not your dual citizenship. That's not your allegiance over there. This is it. You live here, that's your allegiance. All right? You don't think that way? Well, then you got dual. How can you have dual? How can you serve two masters? Let's use Jesus Christ's Christian blah blah blah. You can't. So that's why you have to get rid of that master and follow me. So the same here. You can't have two. I mean, yeah, you have it for various reasons. But as an allegiance, you live here. You have citizenship. This is your country. Whomever breaks the law in your country, you should be outraged. Regardless if that's your mommy, your daddy, your uncle, your co-national from previous life. That should not matter. This guy says no. Actually, Abbott is not going to gain success with that because the Mexicans already over here will not like Abbott enforcing the American law, the Texas law, the law of America. Laws in Texas are laws of the Americans. Now that makes them not fair, and I don't think you can do that. And if you do that, I don't think you have allegiance for this country in this case. You promote criminality. That's exactly what you do. No, crime, trespassing, illegal trespassing, let's put it this way, if it's not the same thing, should be punished. And the laws are clear about that. So if you don't like that, maybe you should not, I don't know, do certain things here. So that's the first one. Therefore, and the second one is, Obrador is laughing, saying, you already got two Mexicans over there, you will not get popularity. That means, why would the majority of population want those guys come in? Let's say we're more Romanians in a community. Why would you want more Romanians if we're going to close an eye on the Romanians' indecencies? Or let's say, breaking the law. You don't want Romanians in, definitely, anymore, because you already have enough to change the political sphere. And if we, according to Obrador, are of those kinds that will close our eyes for our Romanians breaking the law, then you're not a good citizen. All right, my friends, here it is. Obrador, I have no problem with you. The problem is with these guys over here. I don't have a problem with the Mexicans. I don't have a problem with Romanians. They can do whatever they think they can do. The problem is with these guys who lost their nerve. They lost their nerves, or their hands are tied behind the back because of those guys that I mentioned at the beginning of this video, below 86 IQ, average at best, are in charge somehow. You know how they got in charge? Oh yeah, through democracy. Mass democracy, American style. You have to overemphasize that, American style. Because American style is a little bit different. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.